Yo, what's up, y'all? So, I guess I finally fucked around and heard some music the other night. And this is Game's, I'm not gonna call it album, it's like a soundtrack to his TV show or series, a documentary, whatever you wanna call it. And I still really ain't even checked that out. But, yeah, it's basically music for Compton in a way. It's very heavily LA influenced. You definitely hear that in the production, and I'm not mad at that. It's just, you know what I mean? It's LA sound, basically, Compton. But he did have hints of other type production throughout the album. It just basically what I'm saying is it's not what I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be something totally different, but I had to give him props on actually putting out a body of work that goes with the theme of the TV series or whatever the case may be. And it's not a game album. I shouldn't have looked at it, as it gonna be an album, and it's not. It's like a soundtrack. You know what I mean? But anyway, it got 11 joints on here. It got a lot of features that are people that I've really never heard of, except Problem. I know who that is, and it just, like I said, wasn't what I thought it'd be. It starts off with Support Compton. I really thought the hook was pretty weak, you know what I mean? The production and a little sample in the background was cool. I like his delivery and his flow and everything, and the features was cool. But I just thought that, you know what I mean, was a weak hook. The song was straight though, you know what I mean? Support Compton and name drops, of course, we know how Game does. So I was fucking with it. Roped Off featuring Problem and Boogie. I didn't really like that song. It was alright, you know what I mean? I think it got a video out for it or whatever. But it kind of got remind me of that DJ Mustard type production. I really wasn't fucking with it. Hit the News was basically about violence, you know what I mean, and street shit. The hook was weak again. The production was solid though. Just basically saying shit like, we just don't hit 40s around here. You know what I mean? We do shit to hit the news. You know what I mean? And that shit was cool. It kind of got me like, oh, okay, this album is kind of picking up a little bit. And then we get into I'm with the bullshit. To me, I'm gonna keep it real. It was alright. It's just like, nigga, you too grown and too mature, and you rich, but you a gang member, and you still got time for the bullshit. And that shit is like, who really want to listen to that? You know what I'm saying? A grown up acting like he's like 19 years old and shit like that. I really wasn't fucking with it. Sorry. Can't wait. It's decent. Um, it looks like he talking about females, but with Game, he always, on some bipolar shit. You never know what the fuck he talking about half the time, because he'll change it up. One minute he's saying he going to a liquor store, then next minute he's saying, no, I'm making a trip to the Waffle House. It's like, make up your fucking mind, my nigga. You going left or right. You can't go both. You know what I mean? So, but I fuck with it. It's a decent song. Gang Signs. Now, this is the game I was looking for, on his album. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga showed up, halfway through this motherfucker. And I was happy about that. I like everything about this record, the production, the background vocals. He kind of reminded me, like, he used Tupac flow a little bit on this joint, you know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, that's like a little spooky, bro, like, you know what I mean? But I thought the hook was even decent. He talked about his story, the West Coast, street life. And I was like, bam, that's the game I was looking for in this joint, you know what I'm saying? Then he goes into Follow Me, Bitch, featuring Problem. That's a negative. Going into the Chronic featuring AD and AV. That's kind of weird. AD, AV. Sound like a group, but thought it was alright. You know what I mean? Then it get into Like Me. It's just basically his days in the hood. You will never find another nigga like me. Definitely enjoyed the production, the sample, his storytelling. Kind of got a boom bap, feel to it. Great flow, great delivery. He basically saying he's one of one. And speaking of one of one, Tyga did a song with the same title that's kind of like what Drake did on Views Controller. But that's another story. We'll get to that later. Getting into Death Row Chain, definitely dope. He got a history of not only the label, but the chain itself. Incidents that happened with Tupac, Suge Knight, Orlando Anderson, in the West Coast period, his life of him wanting a death row chain and what it mean to him and the whole Suge type situation. Shit was crazy, and I was like, yo, this shit is dope as a motherfucker. Like, this is where I think Game thrives at when he does records like this. and I was like, wow, why you couldn't really do this, on the whole body of work? But I get it, it's not a Gang album. I definitely would have kept this song, Gang Signs, for my album. Personally, that's just me. But getting into the last track, For My Homies, featuring Peso and what's this nigga name? Michael or some shit like that. It's just basically dedicated to his homie Frog, and each one of them had a verse, and they dedicated to the homies that is no longer here, And I was like, oh, that's a good way to end up. On a sad note too, it's like I wasn't expecting that shit. You know what I mean? I thought it would be some like anthem type vibe, but it's kind of was on a, you know, I don't know how you want to put it, like a sad note, basically. You know what I mean? And other than that, it was straight. I like 7 of the 11 records. A lot of the shit I wasn't really fucking with, but I get why he did it. The production, it was all right. But yeah, man, I gave it about a 6.5 out of 10. I think it was pretty fair, pretty straightforward. He ain't really hold nothing back, but it just gives you an overall look into Compton. Not that we don't know everything it is about Compton already, from the era of NWA up until the point, Game, and then, Kendrick Lamar. And, he kind of mentions that within the album, you know what I mean, from generation and generation and generation, how Compton has went from Compton to Bompton, and you get the ins and outs of the streets, the hood, what it's like to actually be a part of the LA culture, whether it's just gangs or, Compton itself is like its own city. You dig what I'm saying? Own everything, and I was like, okay, wow, that's, pretty crazy in itself. And I don't know. It was cool, but it just felt like something was missing. But if you from LA, you definitely knocking this and that YG album, which I still haven't really listened to. I got this feeling I'm not really gonna fuck with it like that. But overall, man, Game delivered on this body of work. I'm definitely looking forward to a new album. Hopefully, he drops off a solo album. Even though I know he did documentary too, you know, and it's probably too soon for an album, or at least a mixtape or something. Him and DJ Ski hopefully could drop off something. But what y'all let me know what y'all thought about this. Yeah, man, my favorite record off here is Gang Signs. I have to say, like, that's just the Game that I always admired and liked, and thought, he was dope. You feel me? But other than that, I'm out of here. I'm rambling at this point. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Yeah.